Brisco and Big Ace show.
Hello. I don't know. Did you hear it? I didn't hear it.
I heard it slightly, so I think it played.
I think it played. We tried to play our theme song. We've been really good with it the last few episodes, but I don't know what happened right there. I was like, do I hear
Yeah, even though they flag us every once in a while, and we do have the rights because our buddy V Styles, which created the song, allows us to use it on YouTube or wherever we like. And sometimes they flag us, and we just don't know why because we submitted all the paperwork. So,
yeah, take a chill on that one, YouTube. They're the only ones that flagged us too, no one else. But yeah, anyways, so we'll get right into it before we get into the actual thick of the show because it's been a little while. It's been a few weeks since we've been bringing you a new episode. So obviously we can't ignore things happening in the world today.
yeah.
When we came for you last, there was all kinds of situations going on as far as war talk. Australia was burning as alive. Those are now settled, but still things happen in the world. And as of this recording a day ago, the great Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest NBA players of all time, right up there with Jordan and LeBron, as far as conversations on who was the greatest, passed away tragically, and his 13-year-old daughter, and 5 other people in a helicopter. Very, very, very sad. It was weird too because I saw it when it first started on social, because you see nowadays everything is social media. You know this, Wes.
Yeah.
And it was weird because I started seeing just little things on social media of people being like, I just heard a rumor about Kobe Bryant. Someone say this didn't really happen. And then I just heard something about Kobe that can't be true. And then like a couple minutes of people saying stuff like that is when things were officially coming out that he was in this accident. And it was just a really weird feeling. It's always weird when someone who's had such an impact on the world.
I mean, he is definitely a household name. Even your grandma knows who Kobe is. I think everybody knows who Kobe Bryant is. And to lose such a legend and icon, and not only that, his little daughter, which was going to be the next girl to be in the WNBA. She loved playing basketball. All that stuff is just, it's pretty tragic. And then, of course, we also lost Rocky Johnson. So I think it's only proper we do a quick little 8 seconds moment of silence, the 8 representing Kobe's jersey number. And if you want to put it on your timer and start us off, Big Ace.
All right, we'll start that now. So that was just our little thing for all of them. It was cool to see in the NBA and just sports alone, entertainment alone, react to that tragedy as well. I mean, you had teams doing the same thing as far as a moment of silence. You had players wearing his number. San Antonio and Toronto both took a 24-second clock violation to begin the game each. The Grammys had a opening tribute to Kobe Bryant. The NFL Pro Bowl had a tribute to Kobe Bryant. Royal Rumble had a tribute to Kobe Bryant.
They did? I was actually, because I'm kind of like, I have Raw on right now, and I was going to see if they did anything, but they actually did something for Royal Rumble.
They did. After like the first match, they made comment to it, and they flashed in memory photo of him with the years, like they do whenever someone passes. So it's crazy, and it's sad to know that there was other children, other teenagers.
I guess there was a baseball coach and his daughter too, I believe, and his wife, not Kobe's wife, but maybe the baseball coach. I don't want to say anything because I don't have a clue.
Yeah.
All I know is that him and his daughter, passed away, and of course the pilot,
Hmm.
the co-pilot probably, because it's a big helicopter.
For sure, yeah. So thoughts and prayers go out to all the families and friends and people who affected by that tragedy. Going back to talk about Rocky Johnson and another tragedy, the first African American half, or he was the first one to be in a tag team. Him and Tony Atlas, the first African Americans to hold the tag team titles, I believe, in WWF at the time. I think.
Yeah, and then my dad and him were the first interracial tag team ever.
Yeah. Yeah. So this one, do you obviously do you remember any of the time being a child seeing Rocky around?
I was with him the week before he passed. I
Wow.
went out to lunch with him, Brian Blair, Steve Kern, and what's his name? Uno. Uh, one of the trainers for NXT. He used to. I can't remember. I can't believe I'm blanking on his name. Sorry, it's just been such a stressful week. He's a tall dude, kind of chunky. He was in NXT, New Japan for a little bit, ROH.
Did he do WWE back in the day?
Yeah, no, he's one of the trainers / wrestlers for NXT. Chris
Oh.
Hero.
Chris here. Oh yeah, Cassius. Oh no.
Yes, I'm actually kind of good friends with him. We've known each other for a while. We've always kind of crossed paths. And,
Unless he watches this episode, he's gonna be like, "You dick! You couldn't remember my name."
yeah, it happens. I'm sure there's times that he forgets my name or he even mentions my name, but at least we're mentioning his name. Like
Right.
I
No,
would put anything at all if I wanted.
it's all good.
It's not the Terrell show. It's the Brisco and Big Ace show.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's crazy though that I mean, just a week before, and I'm assuming you had no thoughts in your head of I'm having lunch with a man who may be ill or
no, I invited him fishing the next week. He was supposed to come to my house and come fishing with me.
wow.
I showed him pictures of. I don't know if you guys have seen it. There's just been pictures of this big bass that I caught, and he saw it and was freaking out and wanted to go fishing. So I was like, "Yeah, I'll take you fishing." So we were actually supposed to go fishing.
Man. So obviously very close ties to your family, this passing. You had mentioned you went to the funeral, so real quick, I just want to ask, like, how was that? I don't really care about the names that were there. I know some people watching might. I don't. Whatever, but I'm sure it was nice. We will, because I know people are probably like, Ace, you're an idiot. Why are you not bringing up the other stuff? And I will ask that question, but I want to get your take on just how the service was. Was it really nice? Was it long, short? I'm assuming packed.
Well, the service was very small. It was maybe 30 people. Cops everywhere, security everywhere. Very you couldn't really get in unless you knew the family. I walked in with Hogan, Tony Guerrera, Jimmy Hart, and Luke Bushwhacker. And of course, my dad, me, we walked in together. We hung out for a little bit. They had, it was kind of weird. I think they had this humongous church, and they had a little opening area where we were able to like hang out and talk to everybody. And it was only family that was there. There was nobody there that wasn't family. There was, of course, the whole Samoan family was there, so it was kind of cool. I mean, it wasn't cool that he passed away, but it was cool that his passing brought a lot of us together that I haven't seen in a while. I saw Tama Tonga. I saw Tavita. I got to see, of course, the Samoan dynasty, everyone from there, Roman Reigns. I got to talk with them and just reminisce on Rocky Johnson. Same, I actually got to have a good little conversation with Shane McMahon, and of course we were mentioning Rocky, and then we started talking about like amateur wrestling and MMA and stuff like that. And
So maybe not a lot of people know about this. Is Shane into that stuff?
Shane's very big into MMA and amateur wrestling. He trains it every single day, and so me and him, we have always we will always talk back and forth about training. And I was like, "Oh man, you start training?" He's like, "Yeah." And I was like, "I had to take a little break because of my knees," and he's like, "Dude, Wes, you gotta get back in there." So it was cool getting to talk to Shane, and because I haven't got to talk to him for a while, and it's cool knowing that like someone as Shane McMahon knows me personally, knows like, hey, what's up, Wes? Like, how's this? Not like, oh, So it was kind of cool. Cool. Of course, Hogan was like, I haven't seen you since you shaved your head. I can't believe you. I don't even recognize you anymore. So, it was kind of fun to get to chop it up with Hogan. I haven't seen him in a while, and that's pretty much, on the questions you were asking me. Our service was very, very beautiful. They did they had just a really nice service. It was really beautiful.
That's awesome. So Rock was there, I'm assuming. Did you get a chance to speak with him, Mr. Johnson, Dwayne?
Yeah, I got to actually talk to The Rock. I mean, of course, The Rock knows me first name. Like, it's not like, oh, who are you? It's like, hey, Wes, like, hey,
Right.
he doesn't even call me Brisco. He just says like, hey, Wes. He's like, I saw the fish you caught on Instagram. He goes, I might have to accept your challenge. And, of course, I just told him how, I was supposed to take your dad out fishing. He goes, I know. He goes, all my dad kept talking about was you and how he was going to go fishing with you. So that was, cool showing that, we also had the same bond with his dad, and I just, gave him a hug and, said sorry for his loss. Of course, everybody and anybody's trying to get in there and try him in there. And, I just kind of just, he saw me and kind of came up to me and, we said our things. And of course, I'm not trying to hold him up. I know he's super, super busy and there's 100 people waiting behind him just to say whatever, so I just trying to make it short, sweet, and just make sure that I wasn't there because of The Rock might be there, just knowing that I was there for his dad, and that was the main thing because I actually helped carry the casket to the car. So,
Oh, well, you were a pallbearer then.
yeah.
Wow. I did not know any of this. So that's I mean I knew
A lot of respect for him. I don't feel like,
right, yeah. And then again, it's not because other people, look at this from the outside are like, these names are such big names, but for you, this is just the people and this is real life. It's just like anybody else, a friend or a mentor or just someone that was always around. So there's no reason you should have to be announcing it on Twitter that you're going to be at the feed like that. And people who are showing up in hopes of like The Rock might be at, like, have respect. There's some things like with the Jericho cruise I was just recently on that we can touch about as far as respect for the talent. But we can get into that later. Cause again, like I said, I wanted to hear that was a good thing. And I'm glad that you were there and I'm sorry for your loss. That all being said, I feel like our fans would really want to hear if you have any input on this, but it was going around. I was late to this now because I was on a boat in the middle of nowhere, but there was stories going around on the old interwebs going around about Pat Patterson and Vince McMahon, about them being drunk, being like saying crazy shit at the funeral, and then like being kicked out or asked to leave or something. I've also read stuff since then that was like, these are.
I can clear up a lot of those. So you can just whatever you want to ask me, I'll clear up for you.
So yeah, well, because I've also read that it was completely untrue. People who were there were like, no, this isn't the case. So just from what you saw, was there anybody being disrespectful? Was there anybody blasted that was up there talking? Or was there anything out of the norm happening?
No, I mean, I actually hung out with Patterson before the actual funeral. He was not drunk. He's just a little bit crazy. That's just how he is. I mean, anybody that knows Pat Patterson in the personal level or outside the business knows that Pat's shoot crazy. So it was nothing out of the ordinary. Like, even though he went up to talk, my dad was like elbowing me, going, he's probably gonna say some crazy stuff. Just like, you know, like my dad already knew, so like that was kind of no surprise of what he was going to do. That's a typical Pat Patterson. That's just who he is, and he's always been that way. So was no change of he didn't change who he was or how he was. And of course, Rocky Johnson wouldn't want that way, anyways. Rocky wouldn't want Patterson to change how Patterson's just a funny guy, and his sense of humor is different than everybody. And same with Rocky's, you know. So I, you know, I didn't respect all the cussing in the church, but you know, to each their own. You know, everyone has their own different faiths and beliefs, and I'm not gonna hold anybody and say anybody shouldn't say or do whatever, you know, what they please, because as long as it's, you know, not harming someone, no harm, no foul, you know, to my eyes. So I don't really care. But, you know, of course, a lot of people were just maybe upset with the cussing a little bit. But that's Patterson. If you know Pat as a person, you know he's gonna cuss. There is no stop. He cusses in front of anybody. He would not stop wherever. So, I mean, my dad has stories of Patterson. It was like right when the airports just quit allowing smoking cigarettes. And Patterson would get off the plane and it'd be my dad, Vince, and Patterson. Vince is power walking my dad, and Patterson are trying to keep up, and Patterson will light a cigarette. Airport security instantly comes in there. You can't do this, whatever, put it out. He goes, okay, whatever. Starts speaking French because he's French Canadian. Puts the cigarette out. Next thing you know, 2 minutes later, lights up another one. They come, he goes, oh, I didn't know. Just got off the plane. Puts it out. Lights up another one. Finally, Vince turns around and he's like, Pat, if you get in trouble, I ain't billing your hell. You're going to sit in jail. And my dad's like, okay, Pat. And my dad was telling me numerous times that they have almost got fined and kicked out of buildings if Pat did not quit smoking.
Oh, that's
hilarious. He would always light up, and he would always play the French Canadian, hey, I don't speak English, da 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 da. And then eventually the fire marshal is like, I don't care. If he does not stop, we're stopping the show. We're writing you guys a fine. And of course, Vince is like, and then Pat stops smoking. Or he at least goes outside.
Right. That's funny that you say that, because I read that as well, where they're like, Pat's just Pat. He's gonna say what he says, but it's not out of respect. But I also feel there's that touch of locker room, the locker room feel. He's talking about one of the boys.
Yes, one that draw a lot of money together. They made a lot of money together. They made a lot of matches, and they really, you know, he really pegged the scale for, you know, making Rocky become a big baby face, because Pat was such a good heel that he doesn't care. That's the reason why he cusses, and he's a good heel. That's just who he is. He's arrogant. He's that type of guy. He's flashy. He's rah, 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 rah. That's Patterson.
Right. Okay, so now Vince, did he do or say anything?
Vince was just very short. That's about it. He definitely was not drunk. Vince does not get drunk, let alone would he ever show up to a funeral drunk. So any indications that Vince was drunk is totally nonsense. He would not disrespect The Rock or Rocky Johnson that way. He was just very short and probably very tired, because we did Monday Night Raw the night before and flew in on a red eye. I believe they were in Kansas, so he probably got right into the jet and flew back to Stanford for 2 hours, slept in his bed for probably an hour, got up, got back on the private jet, flew straight to the funeral, did the funeral, then flying straight. And then right when he got done, my dad says he probably flew right to either SmackDown or right back to his office to start working.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I wouldn't doubt that. And it would seem out of character for Vince, being the business guy he is, to show up and just go nuts. And I also seen that it was superstar Billy Graham was one of the people who was really like saying that this was the deal, that they were all.
So, how are you going to listen to some, like, that's what I always tell people. I go, how are you going to listen to somebody that wasn't there? How are you going to listen to someone that physically did not sit in that seat? I physically sat in that seat. You can't tell me what I saw, what I did. I saw what I saw. I was there. There was only 30 people there, if that.
Right. That, and it's also somebody who's always kind of just been like down on WWE anything.
Yeah. Like,
right. So it's
like Rocky Johnson really didn't wrestle for WWE. I mean, he wrestled for WWF and he wrestled for NWA and he wrestled for all the territories.
Right.
But that really doesn't have, AWA. He wrestled in California. He did all that. So it really didn't have anything to do with that.
Right. So something else we're doing different real quick just for this episode. We haven't really done this ever, Wes, but this one's actually live right now on YouTube.
Wow, they're bringing MVP back?
He was in the Rumble, yes.
Oh, that's sick.
Did you know him too? Because I didn't talk to him on the cruise. I should have.
Yeah, I'm really good friends with him.
Oh, I would have told him. He was around quite a bit. I just didn't really talk to him.
Dude, Florida boy, 305. What you talking about?
I should have known that. Yeah, but we're going live right now on YouTube, so people can watch us live and comment live. So I don't know if you see that on the screen there, Wes, but that looks like your old tag team partner from IPW.
Oh, it does.
Malice is hanging out with us right now, and
I love Malice. Malice is my man. Like, that dude is ready. Like, he is one of the awesome dudes. Like, he is so talented in every different way, from just his wrestling, his promos, and what a good human being he is. And I can't wait to hang out with him in Iowa. Dude, we're gonna tear it down.
Yeah, Billy Graham does make me root for Hepsi, and he is an asshole. I agree, Malice. And yes, I agree with everything you just said about him, Wes. And I just don't want to see him take a shot like he did last year in Waterloo, because I thought you were legit out, my friend Malice. Like, that thing scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, scared me too.
But yeah, dude, we can't wait. The stacked lineup this year for Waterloo too. And hey, guess what?
Man, MVP's looking a little heavy up in this bad boy.
Eh.
It's yeah.
He just got off a boat drinking all week with us. So what do you think?
Yeah, he's got to wrestle Rey Mysterio right now.
That's great. Waterloo has a stacked lineup, just in case you guys haven't seen it, because if you don't know, Waterloo, Iowa, the George Tragus Luthez Hall of Fame induction weekend at the Dan Gable Hall of Fame and Museum is very special to the Brisco and Big Ace show. And they've announced some of that stuff this year. So just some of the key names: Colt Cabana, obviously the Briscoes. And when I say that, I mean the real Briscoes, and that's Jerry Brisco and Wes Brisco, as well as a bunch of other names. Ken Shamrock, Anderson, Trish Stratus is being inducted this year. Mark Henry's going to be there. Man, I can't even remember at this point, but there's a bunch of names. It's going to be awesome. And guess what? We just may have another special announcement later on this year regarding the Hall of Fame weekend in Waterloo, Iowa, and the Brisco and Big Ace show.
Yes, I mean, of course, we're gonna do our live podcast there, and well, I mean, the big announcement's going to be what guests we're going to have. So we're not going to give that away now, but I want to let people know to get their tickets, get their seats ready, because last time there was no seats ready and we did sell out. So I'm just making sure that people know. We're not going to tell them the big announcement of what guest we might have, but we're going to do a little bit more of a different format than we did last time. We had too many people on. We're going to do it more like how we do our show, and we're just going to try to get one or two and just do that like that. But I'm not going to give away the guest until we get a little bit closer to the weekend. But yes, we are going to do the Brisco and Big Ace show live again in Waterloo. So guys, get ready for that. We'll have next week, we'll have you the time and date, what day and what time it will be. So guys, it will be really awesome.
Yeah, and I'll put it in the description later on. And also just look at our social media, because we share everything that they put out.
Tina says, can't wait to see you all in July. It's going to be a fun weekend. Yes, Tina, we can't wait to hang out with you. We're going to have a fun.
Yeah, but get a hold of the museum. All access passes for the entire weekend, I think, are on sale right now. And if I'm correct, I think they're $100 still, which $100 for all access at this particular Hall of Fame weekend is dirt cheap.
Yeah, you not just get only that, you get to hang out with everybody, and you actually get to talk to the wrestlers and actually get to hang out with the legends that are actually going to be there. So it's a really good experience. Troy Peterson and everyone at the Dan Gables Museum, everyone puts on a hell of a show. I look forward to this weekend every month. I'm counting down the days. I'm like, when's it going to be July? When we're going to have this? So yeah, get ready. End of July. It should be a great, great, great show.
Yeah, I'm really excited. We're going to have a lot of fun this year. And, and like I said, it's one of those events where everybody's accessible. Again, I used to just go as a fan with my $100 all access pass, and not saying same things happen to everybody, but 5 years deep or whatever now into this Hall of Fame weekend. And look who I do a podcast with now.
I mean, yeah. If we have any new listeners, that's where me and Big Ace became friends. We did a podcast. It was kind of funny because he's like, "Hey, I want to do a podcast with you." This is before we did ours, and I'm like, "Hey, man, I really don't like doing podcasts." And he's like, "If I was like, I'll do it if we can go to a hot tub and bring some girls and make it fun." And you're like, "What?" You're like, "All right, I'm in." So then we end up doing that. We ended up having some other kids and random fans jump in, and we end up having a blast. But that's what kind of inspired us to do a show together, was that chemistry right there that we had together, that we were able to be able to flow and be able to, just actually be organic and connect. So that's the whole reason why we decided to like, hey, let's link up, let's do our own show together.
Right. Yeah. And it is just a really great event too. Cause I mean, like, the weird things happen. I was in line at Subway with Kurt Angle one year. Like, that's the kind of accessibility you get to the people.
There's only one Subway. So.
Right. And you can just kind of get pictures, walk up. Everybody's usually cool. 115, Tina is saying she got hers. Good.
It might be taxing.
I wonder if I have to pay that or if I get talent now if we're doing a show.
I don't know. You had to talk to Troy or the old.
You guys are watching, let me know. People in charge. You guys know. I mean, I'll gladly pay. I always will. I love support that place. So,
either that or it'll just be a donation to help out other wrestlers in need.
Right. Just give me the talent billing though.
Put our name on the flyer, Troy. On the flyer. If our names are not official on that badge, you know what? Here, I'm gonna show you a badge.
Oh, it's coming.
We were supposed to do a show. We did do our show. This is the badge. This is the official badge. And then on the back, it tells you all the great stuff you're going to do. It tells you the times, what superstars are going to be where, who you can meet. You look, last year there was Sheamus. There's all kinds of people. But if you look on this list, you don't see the Brisco and Big Ace show, Troy. It was painful. It was hurtful. Everything that we've done for you. And you couldn't even put us
tripping
on the badge.
Tripping. No. I think it'll be better this year. It's going to be good, though. We're excited. We were throwing names around already before we went on, and I tell you what, I'm even stoked. Me and Wes actually haven't talked about our Waterloo plans till tonight. Tonight was the first at it, so I'm excited. But the thing about that event is you are really around everybody. You have access. You can get pictures. You can meet people. You can also go to the shows and get it at the autograph. But everybody's still around. You don't see events like this. WrestleMania week is not like this unless you go to WrestleCon. But even then, you're paying to get in line and get your picture, photo taken, whatever.
And that's the only time you're probably ever going to see the wrestler. Here, it's a small town. It's a small city. It's a small area. Everyone sees everybody. Everyone's involved. Every dinner, everybody. There's something going on the whole time, and you'll always run into a superstar walking up and down the street.
Right.
It's very walkable. You don't really, once you're there, you don't need to take your car. You can pretty much walk everywhere. It's a very, very small town. Everyone's combined in a little small area. So, but I really want to know is, how was the Jericho cruise?
So that's what I was getting to, is there not many events where you have accessibility like that, but the Jericho cruise is one. Yeah, for how much money it costs, I'll tell you what, you meet everybody you want, and not even at the signings. But that's just for anybody who's wondering that, because
well, actually, let's go into that, because that's maybe something that people want to hear, and that's kind of what I want to hear. Is like how much you spend, like how much did it cost, and then for that, like what was everything you got for that?
Okay, so this was the second year they've done this Jericho cruise. I was on the first one as well, and then this year, they have already announced a third trip next year. Risque. Oh man.
Yeah, that cruise probably can get a little risque.
Yeah, so can Waterloo. Yeah, so anyways, actually it did get crazy on the cruise this year though. One of the comics apparently was like butt naked running down one of the hallways, banging on people.
Was it a girl?
No.
Yeah.
But anyways, so this is the second year they've done it. I had an interior stateroom, which if you've never been on a cruise, I had an inside room, no windows, no nothing, very tiny, two little
fishbowl.
Yeah. But to be honest, it's comfortable for me and my nephew. It was comfortable. You just don't have daylight. That's kind of a drag. So in the morning when your alarm goes off, it still feels like you're in the middle of the night. But so you get your cabin for whatever the price is of the cruise, and that includes about 5 restaurants that are all complimentary. Doesn't include drinks or drink package, even soda. There's a soda package you have to pay extra for. So basically, you get that on a regular cruise. You'd get the entertainment. On this one, the wrestling shows, all the rock concerts, all the podcasting, all the comedy shows, and a bunch of other little events were all included. There were some events that were extra. Ric Flair, his photo, you had to pay $100 to take a photo with him. He was the only one that was like that.
How long was that line?
Huh?
How long was the line for that?
I don't know because you prepaid it.
Oh, okay.
And then they had designated like times that you went and met him and did it. So we didn't do it. I didn't see it happen. But yeah. And then Jericho had a $2,000 VIP package where you got free lunch with him, like an actual sit down lunch with him. You got a custom made title, legit title for the cruise, 25 of them made. They will never be made again. And then I don't remember the other perks, but there was a bunch of other perks included in this $2,000.
Wow.
Yeah. Great. 2G. And they announced that like 3 weeks out from the cruise. So anybody who would have wanted to do it but has to budget didn't get to do it. Like only people who were like bankrolling 3 weeks before we actually on the boat.
Wow.
So anyways, and then they did a bowling tournament because there was 4 bowling lanes on the cruise ship. So they did like a bowling tournament, like teams of 5, and then everybody got like a wrestler or a comedian or a rock musician to be on their team.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So that was $100 per person, which seemed a little steep to me, but whatever. I wanted to do it, but it sold out in like 20 minutes too. And that was something they announced like 2 weeks before the cruise. So not something you can really plan for.
Yeah.
Which hopefully they'll change that up next year. So all in all, I think I spent like $2,100 for like the cruise taxes, and that included all the food and the shows.
That was one person, not 2.
One person.
Oh no.
Or wait, no, I'm sorry. That's 2 total. So it's like,
that's not bad.
It's like $1,000, but that's cruise alone. That's not factoring in the hotel for 2 nights before we got on the boat. That's not factoring.
Yeah, you had a bunch of craziness with your travels.
Yeah, well, it looked like we were going to. We luckily made it, being that I'm in Minnesota. We flew out 2 days earlier, and the day we flew out, the night before, we had a massive snowstorm. And there was still whiteouts happening the day we left. When we were driving to the cities, we drove through a few whiteouts.
Because I even told Ace, I go, hey, the boat's going to be a little rough. And you're like, huh?
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, when we finally made it out there and we get on the boat, yeah, I talked to you the night before, and you said, you're like, take your motion sickness stuff tonight.
Yeah, because I was watching the surf. There's actually some good waves. So I was like, there's going to be waves. And the waves weren't like 3 to 4. They were like 6 to 10 foot. So I was like, oh, it's going to be a little rough.
Yeah. The first day on, we didn't feel it too bad, but we were at
the second day.
But that's, well, and the second day we didn't feel it too bad, but we went overnight. We went straight to Nassau. So we were docked all day the second day. The third day, because the third and fourth day were at sea before we went back to Miami. And that third day was the day that, like, I woke up and I had to ask my nephew, I'm like, did you hear all the banging last night? And he's like, yeah, I think it was the hangers in our closet. And I was like, no shit.
Oh, that wasn't too bad.
No shoot. But then, like, as the day went on, it was like, whoa. Like, the pool was half empty from it just splashing side to side. And then it was.
I've been on it where all the chairs and people walk down the hallway. It's so bad.
No, I don't. Well, and our stewardess, I was like, it's pretty rocky out there today, huh? And he's like, No. I was like, no. He's like, this is nothing, man. He's like, I've been on here doing way worse. I was like, I don't want to see.
Yeah, I bet you they have. They're like, this is nothing.
No. So, and then it was like kind of cold out. It was like 50 and rainy and windy. Still better than Minnesota. So I wasn't complaining, but there's people on there who were from warmer states that were like, oh, this is bullshit. And it's like, well, whatever. We didn't, have to deal with it because we were inside most of the time, except at night, and it did rain a little bit during one of the wrestling shows.
You didn't go in the cesspool.
No, there was a rumor going around that so we got on the boat Monday. Tuesday was the Dynamite taping. Wednesday, Thursday at sea. We come back to Miami Friday. So Tuesday during the Dynamite taping in Nassau, there was a rumor going around that there's some dirty things happening in the hot tub during the taping, which I didn't.
During the actual taping?
Yeah, yeah.
People were having sex.
Well, not like full on. Like I guess some broad was getting finger blasted in the hot tub during the taping. I didn't see it, but it was going around on like the other thing too. And if anybody is on here watching from the cruise, feel free to comment on anything that you saw crazy because there's
no.
I'll tell you what though. I mean, I still don't think anything crazier happened on there than the swinger party that you had to sleep next to in Iowa this last year.
Yeah, let's hope that doesn't happen.
Yeah, right. We'll be at a nicer hotel this time around, I think.
That was so crazy.
That was a weird thing, especially because we had been there so many years and nothing.
And Brian Blair's like hanging in the door, like,
hang on, she's gonna come. Like, no, we're good, bro.
Dude, get away.
30 man. So yeah, I guess there's that. Plus, it was just, dude, those things look so gross. There's like 15 people crammed into one hot tub. It looks disgusting.
Yeah, I don't think I would have gotten into the pool or hot tub, which I saw MJF get thrown into. I was very disappointed, and I love AEW guys, but I was very disappointed in the matches. I thought the first match was good, and then every match after that, I mean, anything MJF does is good. I support him. I think he's awesome, but I just didn't really like any of the matches. I just really none of it really appealed to me. It was kind of weird. Like I thought they would go a little bit more out on the cruise, and it just, I don't know. Just I watched the whole entire show, and there was never one time that I was just like, man, this is some really cool stuff. Like,
yeah, I think I mean the first match I thought was really great being there in person. The match with the Jericho and Santana and Ortiz, the Lucha,
and Luchasaurus. It was that one like, and they just him and Swagger just go in the back randomly fighting. Like
they're really teasing up that him and Swagger, or sorry, we need to stop calling him Swagger. Hager, Mr. Hager, which by the way, shouts out to him. We've said that he's coming on our show. We've made that public. But you're the one that's always been the one to talk to him. I actually talked to him on the cruise. And yes, once again, he has said he's coming on our show. So fans, get ready for that episode because it's going to happen. But there's some really good pictures of him looking pretty drunk from the cruise. He was having a good time, man. Jake was living it up.
I mean, that's good for him. I mean,
when I first saw him, though, I tried to be like, oh, hey, Mr. Hager, I'm friends with Wes Brisco. And he just kept booking. No sold me like nothing. But I'm
his wife and his kids.
What's that?
Was he with his wife and no?
No, I think he was just with him and the talent.
Yeah,
he was having fun though.
He always has a good time.
Everybody was having a good time. There was actually a
thing too. He's pretty strict. I mean, he's also an MMA fighter, so he's probably very rarely in and out of training camp. So that might have been a time where he's out of training camp. So he's going to cut loose because a lot of times, they're so strict with their diet and the way they train that they can't do anything. So he was probably like, you know what, I'm going to let loose a little bit. You know what, teach them.
Yeah, he was having a good time, and he was telling people that he's got
a quick thumbs up.
Yeah, and he was telling everybody he's got some big things coming up here too. So, and I had talked to him real quick too about Bellator. I was like, dude, you're kicking ass, and he just starts being like, yeah, man. But no, yeah, it was awesome. Someone else that I also ran into that you're friends with that I was able to let them know that I'm co-host and not some weirdo walking around to be like, I know Wes Brisco, was Chavo Guerrero, who I've actually had previous interactions with before you and I have ever met. But I know that you know him, you guys are friends, so I made sure I said,
Chavo's known me since I was a little kid. And a little fun fact, actually, I've had Chavo like when I was a professional wakeboarder, and I believe I was 16 at the time. He actually came to one of my wakeboarding tournaments, and he was like one of my special guests. And they made a big deal out of it and brought him in the boat and made him be a special rope guy for the event, and it was a pretty cool ordeal. So I've known Chavo and the family for a long, long time.
oh, that's so awesome. Well, you're hearing it here first. Chavo will be on the show eventually.
Yeah, Eddie Guerrero was actually one of the first people that got me into weightlifting.
What?
Yeah, I used to go to the gym with him all the time. And
I don't want to hear that now. Let's save any Eddie story you have for when Chavo's on.
Okay.
But that's amazing. And yes, Chavo is going to come on. And he was super awesome. Super. Like, as soon as I was like, I co-host a show at Wes Brisco. I love Wes. So you were definitely loved, my friend, within the business. So it's awesome that I get to meet your friends and it's kind of nice. I get that little special experience and not just being like just a fan. It's like, hey, no, I'm friends with one of you guys. So, but yeah, so the cruise itself though was pretty good, man. I mean, what do you expect for a wrestling cruise? Drunk people, a lot of drunk people. Not out of hand, no fighting, no nothing like that. Everybody's really cool, really chill. I ran into most of the AEW roster.
Man, I was not digging the commentary's outfit. They looked like hell. It looked like it's sorry, you guys are gonna hate on me for this, but they looked like a retirement home and Hawaiian shirts. I was like, oh my god. I was like, whoever was editing this or like did the post was like, y'all might want to take off those shirts because they ain't gonna look like you gotta at least like
right.
I mean,
and it was Bash at the Beach, so they had to have the beach shirts on.
Yeah, but I mean, you could at least come up with some better swagger than that. I mean, I would have been like, ooh, but there you looked at that stuff and you were like, man, did these people get lost and like jump off the short bus? I mean, no problem with that, but
I'm always down for JR in a Hawaiian shirt. I'm always down for that. So, Adam Dale.
For me, it was just I could not stop laughing and I couldn't take it serious.
Okay, I'll give you that.
For me, I couldn't take anything seriously because I was like, if the commentary people ain't taking it seriously, they're in shorts and they're not tan, they're pasty white. I mean, it's just like I'm looking at the screen and I'm like, what the hell am I watching? The bad version of Hawaiian 5-0
right.
with no tans, like
you know who else
5-0, like what?
You know who else really dressed up with the theme of the fact that we were on a boat and on a cruise was Justin Roberts, the ring announcer.
Oh yeah,
he was like Miami South Beaching it up.
At least he was probably tan and he probably had the swagger going and all the stuff like match and it was all color coordinated. And
yeah. You know Justin, he's always got his stuff put together.
Oh, you have to if you're going to wear Hawaiian shirts,
right? But yeah. And then another cool moment. Did you see it when everybody, because that whole 6-man match, like it was more just a gimmicky fun match. Like nothing was really going on there because there's no storyline with those two teams. But it was, I don't know how it came off the TV. So let me know what you thought of it. Anybody who's watching right now, you can comment. We see your comments live. You can comment and let us know too what you thought if you saw AEW Dynamite live on the Jericho cruise ship. But when Jericho came out, and everybody sang Judas, his song. And like, even when the music stopped, when he was in the ring and the entire crowd was still singing it, I don't know. For some reason, it felt very special because
it did. But in the other way, he's a heel and I know it's his cruise and you don't really want people cheering your
name. No. And that's why you can tell he was trying not to like smile. Really,
I know he wanted to be like, yeah, baby, rock and roll. Like, you guys love me for my music now. Like, which is badass because for anybody to be able to transition themselves, not only being a number one wrestling star to having a radio station on Sirius XM. I mean, come on, like that's a big accomplishment. Like to actually have your own radio station on satellite radio, your own rock station where he picks what rock bands was his favorite to listen to. Like that's pretty badass. And for him and for everything he's done for the Fozzies and everything, I think that's just totally cool. But on the other hand, they're also the heels. So
Well, here's the deal, though, and because I wanted to kind of clear this up since I was there.
Adam, no, the cameras were on. I did see some stuff because I did watch it live, Adam.
No, he said it came off awesome on TV.
Oh, it came off. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's my boy Adam Daly right here.
Yeah, I don't know about the mats so much.
No, he's talking about them singing the theme song.
Oh, yeah. Singing, yeah, I thought that was awesome.
So the reason why that's so special being there, and I don't think this crowd would do it at the arena.
What do you think's in Adam's solo cup on that picture?
What's that?
What do you think's in Adam's solo cup?
Not the same that's in his daughter's solo cup in that picture. I'll tell you that right now. I don't know, Adam. What's in your solo cup? What were you? What kind of juice were you getting drunk on? But the thing with the Jericho cruise, and I'll tell you this, Wes, this is where Jericho, it really is one of the greatest ever, because you can do this you can do this cruise and be like, I'm the star, I did all this, and then just do it and not have to really be around except when you need to be.
Well, the boat's pretty small.
What's that?
I mean, unless he wants to just be trapped in his boat room.
Oh, well, yeah, and that's just it too. But I mean, they also have, like, his was like the 4-bedroom suite with their own pool.
Yeah, and then too, I think they have their own bar, their own pool.
Yeah, they can stay away from us. Him and like Flair and those guys had that really fancy.
Flair out.
Like Flair actually talked about it. He was like, "You should see the room I'm in, girls. 18 to 30. Come on up." Yeah, he doesn't stop, bro. He even said, he's like, I shouldn't be drinking, but I'm drinking tonight with Jericho. And I'm just sitting there like,
it's not even funny because anything that's like detrimental to your health,
right?
Like,
and that's just it. Everybody cheered for him.
Like that's not like, if I was Jericho, I'd be like, no, you're not drinking with me because you're gonna die. Like that's
he didn't say anything. Jericho just kind of was like,
yeah. Hopefully not on my watch. Like,
but like everybody else on the boat, it's like,
Amanda says hi.
Amanda, what's up? Yeah, the thing with the theme song though is here's the deal. If you're on this boat, you're gonna run into him, you're gonna have a moment. You know what I mean? With Jericho, it makes it kind of special. He was at every concert. He was on stage. He was front row with the fans singing along to all the other bands, to the comedy shows. He would be there, his family, his dad, his wife. Everybody was present.
That's awesome.
You know, so that's why when he comes out and everybody in that boat was singing it, it wasn't like, because I thought that too. I'm like, people are going to come off watching this being like, but he's the heel. He can't sing the heel song. And it's like, but that cruise is really special as far as the fact that it really is special to the people who've been going to this thing for 2 years. So, so when he comes out, that was a special moment for everybody on that boat and him. And that's why it happened. So that's why I was like, when I watch it, I get chills because it's just like, knowing how he liked it. But yeah, any other day on TV, that was horrible.
I mean, you got to think, like, to be able to accomplish what he accomplished of being able to sell out a boat, a luxury cruise ship, that's a hard thing to do. I mean, he's up against some pretty stiff talent, and for him to be able to take that cruise ship and turning around and make it a crazy wrestling experience, and to know that there's enough wrestling fans out there, enough diehard fans that are like, you know what, like Mania is cool, but you know what, I'm going to go to the Jericho cruise. That's what I want to do. And it's cool that wrestling has so many different options now that you're able to go to the Jericho cruise. You're able to do the ROH stuff, the New Japan stuff. And then, of course, you have the WWE, the NXT. There's a bunch of different outlets now that, it's making wrestling really cool. And, it's a cool thing to be able to watch and sit back and see all the cool stuff that they're doing. Is awesome that there's so many different avenues and routes that you can go. You're not really pegged to go to one way now. You have options to go every different direction, which allows you to find yourself and develop your own character and develop what you want and to portray yourself how you want to be seen.
Yeah, and I mean he's just an amazing at what he's doing over there. But and the boats are the work that goes into these things, dude, and the staffing and like the production company that actually does the chartered cruise to the actual production company doing sound and lighting. They brought a lot of that extra stuff in for the Dynamite taping. That stage going to the ring to the actual big stage was not there the rest of the trip. It was only there for that show.
And you got to think this is all planning that he's had to do. This is all stuff that he had to get with architects and people that can design it, and engineers that can make sure that it's going to be structurally able to do that, and getting the permits and the approvals from the cruise ship. I mean, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. I'm very impressed with Jericho that he's able to do. Like it's not just. It's a hard thing to do, but he's being a businessman, a CEO, a rock star, a wrestler, all in one, which a parent, a father, which is pretty cool to see him just to be able to handle all that and be able to handle it pretty damn well.
Yeah, man, it's truly amazing. And he is a great guy, and he makes it special for everybody on there. Third year, the first week of February 2021. The third whammy is what they're calling it. This one was part duh. So anybody watching,
whammy,
right? Anybody watching or who is a fan and who listens to us, here's your guys' mission in the next like 5 months is to blow Jericho up with the Brisco and Big Ace show. So then he can just bring our show on the boat next year.
Yeah, that would be sweet.
I think they're missing out not having us actually on there performing. So anyway. That's what I think. One thing, though, that I want to share from this cruise that was special to me, and Wes, you may kind of remember this too. Like probably the first or second year I met you, I went through a really rough summer. Like literally, like a month after my brother passing, I saw you. And dude, I mean, even that weekend, you were like, "Dude, I'm your brother. Don't even worry." So losing my brother in my life was a very big emotional thing. To cancer. Loved my brother. His thing though was Gabriel Iglesias was his man. Fluffy, the comedian. That's his dude. Loved him before he was ever diagnosed. When he was diagnosed in the 8-year battle that came after, that was his go-to to make him happier when he really wasn't happy. And I was lucky enough to bring him to see him twice. And the second time I was lucky enough to get us meet and greets to meet Fluffy. So I was able to print this picture out, and this will always be special, but this was the high point of the cruise. And I just want to share it with everybody because this was special to me, but I don't know if you can see this, but yeah. This is me and my brother and Gabriel when we met, and Gabriel signed it here. There it is. And that was just a special moment getting to tell him the story. The other thing too is when my brother passed, a friend of the family reached out to Gabriel Iglesias and his company, to let him know just, hey, one of your true fans just passed away after a long battle. Here's a picture of you with him. If you can just even do like a quick 1-minute message of, hey, we're thinking of you. The family would love it. They all love you. And he couldn't do anything like that. It never got that far. But what we did get was a care package of merch from him with just shirts and DVDs and stickers, key rings for the kids and all of us. So getting to tell him like all this just was a surreal moment for me. Totally lost it. Dude, I was like in the dining room of the ship just like crying like a baby trying to talk to him. Like, I thought I was going to not cry. I was really not going to cry, but I can't help it. And he was nothing but nice. Gave me a hug, shook my hand.
That's awesome, dude. Asked
about my brother, all that stuff. It was just great. So that was very special for me. It was a special trip. It always is every year. If anybody's thinking about going the third time around, you should. It can be a little spendy, but it's definitely worth it. Adam Daly, if you're still on and watching us, I'm on calling you out right now. I think you and AJ need to be on the cruise next year. I think you two would enjoy it and deserve it. So you should come with us. I'm throwing it out. So, but yeah, it is, dude. It's a truly great trip, and we'll figure out. Hopefully, I'll get you on it as well, Wes, someday. Like I said, I think the Brisco and Big Ace show needs to be part of the podcasting part of it next year.
I think so too.
So, but dude, it was awesome. Everything was great. The Fozzy shows were awesome. Here's something though that I saw that I didn't think I'd see. How familiar are you with Marco's stunt, by the way? You know who he is, though.
Yeah.
The dude also sings, apparently, and sang with Jericho and
Yeah.
Fozzy. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It wasn't actually bad. I was actually impressed. And it was hilarious to watch his little butt just whipping around on stage in front of Jericho. It was like a little mini Jericho because he was like kind of doing all the rock and roll moves Jericho was doing. Like it was fun. It was a good time. SCU was awesome. Those guys are always awesome, dressing up and rocking out in front of the Fozzy stage every time and doing karaoke. I watched Scorpio, one of your friends as well, I believe. I watched him sing Will Smith getting jiggy with it at karaoke one night. That was entertaining. Oh, you better not tease with me, Mr. Daly. Better not tease with me. Seriously though, I was going to tell you, you and AJ should come. I think it'd be a nice family vacation. So, yeah, man, it was a good time, but it was nice to come home to more cold weather. I don't know why that was nice, but it was nice to just be back in my apartment though, Wes. But something else though is the Royal Rumble happened.
Yes, it did.
Did you see any of it? You could be honest. We know that you're a busy man. Yeah, it's fine, dude. Like, don't be ashamed. We know you pay attention. You're just busy. Here's the deal. The big winner, Drew McIntyre for the men's rumble.
Yes, which I'm super like. Drew's my boy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, good friends. Like that's one of my homies.
Okay, good. It was him and Roman down to the last two. You can tell when they teased McIntyre getting thrown and people thought Reigns are going to win, you could tell the crowd was going to turn if that happened.
Yeah.
Some reversal happened. Boom, he gets thrown out. McIntyre wins. Place goes nuts. So he opened Raw, I guess. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I did. I watched it. It was good.
Okay. So that was awesome. That's a huge takeaway. Edge. What is your take on this? Edge is back in the WWE, rumored a 3-year deal. What do you think? I mean, for me, I'm such a fan of Edge that I'm more just like, I just hope he doesn't get hurt. It was great to see him come back, but it's just like when you have a doctor tell you that if you keep going, you might be paralyzed. That's something scary.
Yeah, well, here's the thing is he has a family now, and I don't think he would do anything that his doctors didn't tell him not to. I don't think that he loves Beth. He loves his girls. I don't think that he would do anything to jeopardize that. I think he asked the doctors and got a couple of doctors and then said, you know what? You're good to go. We feel like it's safe. And as long as he had that mindset and as long as that's the case, I said, hell yeah, rock that. There's no reason why you should not be wrestling. If that's your dream, that's your goal, And especially anybody that gets hurt, that's your whole goal is to, after you get hurt, to prove to everybody that you can come back. And that's something that mentally he just might want to check off. He want to say, you know what? I did the impossible. I was able to come back from what I was dealt with, which I give him nothing but respect. And of course, you know how I feel toward him. I mean, he's one of my good friends. Again, I always say that a lot of the people we talk about, but it's pretty much true. I mean, him and Beth are really close to me. So,
Yeah, and if you have any doubt, there's video of our interview with the panel we did at Waterloo, and you can hear Beth say what she feels about Wes right there.
Yeah,
there's no hiding that. It was cool to see. There was a rumor though going around. Have you heard anything about this? And yes, we'll chat. Green tea. Sure, it was tea.
Maybe. Arizona green tea.
Maybe sun green. I read a thing. I read a report that says that he possibly was in talks with AEW for a comeback because WWE wouldn't clear him, and then Vince McMahon caught wind of him talking with probably Cody, I'm assuming, and right away was like, "If you're coming back in WWE. Go see the doctors."
Good for him.
So,
good. He probably got more money out of the deal too.
Yeah, so that'll be cool to see. I was hoping he'd win it though, make that return and win it. That'd have been really cool. But
yeah,
he was in the final 3 though, so that's cool.
Well, they let Drew win it. I think it's time for it because then again, you don't. And I love Edge, and like I always said, but you got to build younger talent. You got to build talent that are going to be able to carry the torch. That are going to be able to do every show, every house show, every pay per view. So you have to build those guys. If you don't let them win big events and don't make them something special, then there's no reason for the fans to come and pay to see them wrestle.
Very true. Very
The
true.
thing that WWE's been failing at is building their stars to keep letting the old timers win.
Yeah.
Where it's you got to develop younger talent. You have to develop the younger roster and let them get the big wins. Let them win the big pay-per-views. Build these stars to the superstars where you can make them household names and you can make them where everyone knows them and everybody respects them.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, and you saw where they were kind of going the beginning of the Rumble, which, just so you know, Brock Lesnar was number 1 and cleared the first dozen guys. Like,
That's good. That's how it should have been.
you know what I mean? And then I don't remember who ended up. I think it was McIntyre.
Drew,
Yeah,
Drew,
McIntyre took him out.
Drew actually ended up throwing them out.
Yeah. Which great setup for a WrestleMania match right there. Brock.
Well, who else? I mean, if you look at Drew, he's 6'6",
Mhm.
250 pounds, straight jacked to the gills. He
Dude,
looks like a person that could go against Brock Lesnar.
Right? See, I met Drew in Miami during 28, and he was taller than shit. Like, hey, but he wasn't built yet. He was still in his skinnier phase at that time. Because
he's actually gone through a bunch of different phases. Because at FCW, they were going to pull him up, and my dad got talking with him because he was super lean and jacked. And my dad's like, you got to put on a little bit more weight because you're not going to be able to bump. Because if you're that lean, like the leaner you are, the harder it is to take bumps. The heavier you are, you have more cushion. But when you're all lean, you're actually landing on your spine, your belly, and stuff like that. So he gained some muscle, and that's when he got pulled back up to the road. But yeah, man, he's just a phenomenal talent. Great dude. I got nothing but respect and love for Drew. He's one of my dogs. I'll drink a Guinness for him.
Yeah, for sure. And then also another surprise was MVP, which if you're watching earlier in the show, you caught Wes seeing him on Raw and getting excited. But yeah, MVP, very big surprise. MVP was on the Jericho cruise. I've seen him like all week, just hanging out on the boat.
Man, what a good payday!
This girl rocking out to the '80s cover band.
What a good payday all these guys had. Straight from Raw or straight from Royal Rumble, straight to the Jericho cruise, making that bank, double paydays. Damn.
Yeah, so that was cool to see too. And then for the women's, Shayna Baszler got moved up to the main roster from NXT, won the women's Rumble. Or wait, no, I'm sorry. Charlotte won. Shayna got eliminated. Charlotte Flair was the winner of the women's Royal Rumble. A couple big returns. Molly Holly, Kelly made an appearance. Beth Phoenix made an appearance. And Santina Marella made an appearance as well. They really catered to Beth during this Rumble. They gave her Santina to do the Santina / moment. Natalia was in there for a good chunk with Beth, so they were teaming it up again. And then
I wonder why.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is, and I haven't heard or read anything, so if you have and you're watching us, throw it in the comment, but she got a nasty gash on the back of her head. Beth did. Like, her back of her head, you know her. She's blonde, Wes. You've met her, been around her a million times. Blonde, how blonde she is. She was pulling a Ric Flair with how red her back of her hair was. Like, it didn't look blonde all back.
Dude, she's tougher than...
She kept going.
Yeah, I was going to say that's not going to stop her.
And not like just a few more minutes. She was probably in the ring another 15, 20 minutes in the Rumble with this giant gash that was just bleeding. Any of the other talent, when they put their hand on the back of her head and came off, their hands were just red in blood.
Surprised they didn't stop it.
They did towel her off at some point in the corner. I don't know if they taped it up or anything for a minute to get through or what, but she did get it looked at quickly. But yeah, crazy though. It was a super crazy looking nasty gash. So, but yeah, it was fun to see our old friend though, Beth Phoenix, out there kicking butt like she does. So
yeah, Beth is a extraordinary athlete. I mean, she is a crazy good. Like,
yeah,
one of my favorite people to watch. And in the gym, she kills it.
Yeah, check her social media out if you haven't, because she'll put some of her workout stuff up there. And yeah,
I could not even hang. I could not even come close.
Dude, No, she's just going down on the weight. So, yeah, man. We're on the road to Mania officially, the road to WrestleMania. So, all you WWE fans, get ready. I know me and you were both like, whatever that means anymore. Hopefully good talent. It's just an exciting time for wrestling. You got Dynamite, you got NWA, Impact, ROH, WWE.
I'm more excited for AWE, for Impact, for ROH, for MLW.
Yeah, and big news with did you say XFL?
No, NWA.
Oh, I was gonna say you're pumped for the XFL.
No, I could care too.
And right. And another quick thing.
I don't watch football.
I know, right? I mean I do, but
I do, but I don't.
Right. Another one of your friends making really big waves.
How did I know you were on to say it? Yeah, signed a big contract with ROH.
Yeah.
You see the new toy he bought? He bought himself a new little Jeep for a nice little toy.
Nice. I did not see that. Yeah, Marty Scurll signs with ROH and head of booking. Did I see? That's what I seen. Head of booking. It'll be interesting to see how
everyone hit up Marty and tell him that he needs to book Wes Briscoe on ROH. I mean, who would want to see me? I mean, I'll wear a mask. The Briscoes can have that, whatever. I'll go by whatever. So let me clean house.
Right. So yeah, who knows?
See that. If you guys want to see Wes Briscoe on ROH, hit up Marty and be like, hey,
Wes sent me.
Show your boy some love. Just give him a chance. Throw him in the ring. See what he can do.
Yeah, well, and the other thing too is Marty's also doing some stuff with NWA, so I think you might just have to be like, hey, I'm gonna just hitch a ride with you to NWA one of these days and just pop in and be like,
hey, ride with anybody. That's one thing Wes Briscoe don't do. So if my homeboy needs some help, I'll come, I got it back 100%.
But yeah, man, so that's it's been a few weeks in wrestling, bro. It really has.
It was good to catch back up with you. I know it's been a while, but it felt good to knock another one out of the park, and looking forward to the next episode.
Yeah, and this again, we were live for the very first time ever on YouTube, and it seems to have gone well. So thank you to the people commenting.
I like that way better than the calling in.
Yeah, dude, the calling in on the phone thing was just. Yeah, this is a way better way, and this is how it happens nowadays. Phone lines are just kind of outdated as far as like a radio show nowadays, but it still works for some people. It's just this is easier for you and I. But yeah, so we got a lot of things coming down the pipeline. Again, water.
Also, with the making sure that we understand the question that you're actually like asking us, and making sure we understand that we're on the same topic. A lot of times it gets lost in translation of what everyone's trying to accomplish, and it's a lot easier if you type it. We see it, we're able to respond a lot quicker, and we're able to keep the show moving.
For sure. So yeah, we'll keep going with this. Here's the thing, though, fans. You guys know us, and we don't do it on a weekly. We're not going to be like Monday nights at 10. Come and join us. You got to watch us on Twitter or Facebook. Okay, follow us on Facebook at the Brisco and Big Ace Show. On Twitter at Brisco and Big Ace. If that doesn't work, add show onto it. But you got to follow us on those. We'll post on there, and I'll start doing it. If we're going to go live like this, I'll start doing it that when we know we're doing the show that day, earlier in the day, you'll see the tweet saying we're going live that night.
And let us know if you do. Leave a comment and let us know if you like it when we just drop it live like that on Instagram. Let us know. Leave a comment what you guys like and what you don't like, so we can fix it up and make it better for you guys. Because, I mean, we're doing it because we enjoy it, but we're also doing it to give the fans and our friends a different perspective of wrestling that normally you might not get. So feel free to ask questions and, dig in, whatever you guys want to hear, who you guys want us to have on the show, stuff like that. More things, more video vlogs. Just let us know what you want, and we're able to cater. But if we don't know what you guys want, it's hard to be able to let you guys see what you guys want.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of, like you said, more video stuff, give me a couple weeks because I got a lot to go through, but I did take a lot of just random videos from the Jericho crew so I could put something together that'll drop on this Brisco and Big Ace YouTube channel. Like I said, give me a couple weeks because Man, getting back to work today and having like a real-time job, not just like working at the group home where I used to just show back up and babysit again, like actually coming back and being like, did the shit hit the fan while I was gone? What do I have to catch up on? Like, woo, work sucked today. So yeah, give me some time, but I'll get those loaded up tonight. And look for that in the coming weeks. A cool little vlog of some of the Jericho crews. They were really hardcore about not taping Dynamite. Like I couldn't have my phone out during the taping at all, not even for pictures.
Right, that's how it should be.
And you're right, it should be. Plus, I think they were worried someone would do it, run it, because we were in the Nassau till midnight. So I think call time was 11 to be back on the boat, maybe 10. I think they were just worried people were going to record it, run out there, go to some Wi-Fi like bar out right in the port, hop on,
upload it.
You know, spoil city.
Yeah,
people.
We'd almost have to leave the phone there.
Right. But yeah, man, watch for us again, Twitter, Facebook, follow us on there, and we'll let you know when we're coming with you with another show live. Brisco and Big Ace show.